So now we're going to do a delta frame to span the ankle. So standard delta frame, this is one technique for doing that. You'll need 2 of these long rods that will create the main foundation of your delta frame. You'll need a Chance pin that's going to go, a Steinman pin that's going to go into the calcaneus, drilled from medial to lateral to avoid the neurovascular bundle, protect the neurovascular bundle. And then we'll start with 1 large Chance pin that will go into the proximal aspect of the tibia. The higher up the tibia you can go, depending on the length of your rods, will allow you more of that angle of distraction for ligament ataxis around the ankle. So this is if you have a pilon fracture, for example, trying to get that reduced as well as you can using ligament ataxis for your benefit. So first thing we'll do is we'll drill a pin up top for our first Chance. And again, the safe zone on the tibia is along the anterior medial crest. Typically for this Chance pin, you want to sort of just be just off the medial aspect of the tibial crest. Now, place the Steinman pin across the calcaneus. Shall I maybe do it this direction so you can see? Okay, so these are our first sets of pins. Now we'll use our rods to create our preliminary delta frame construct. And what I like to do with this is I like to have the rod in the bottom half of this clamp to create a bit of a kickstand for the ankle, with the rod sort of going down below where the bottom of the calcaneus will be. And you'll see how that'll work in a moment. Again, we're going to keep in mind the soft tissues here, making sure that it's leaving plenty of space. And again, the soft tissues here as well, and near the foot. So that's our first one. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. our poor ankle is coming apart here a little bit. There we go. So that's our preliminary delta frame on there. Now, this ankle obviously doesn't have a fracture, so we can't quite get the reduction, but what you can do now is you can hold the shank pin. One partner can hold the tibia or this pin up here, and you basically will adjust and get your reduction that you want, either with fluoroscopy or without, depending on what your resources may be. So now once we're happy with our reduction, we'll just tighten these clamps down fully. Alright, so that's our preliminary delta frame on there. Now the next step, it will be adding another pin to the proximal fracture fragment. We have 2 points of fixation here on either side of the calcaneus. We can always strengthen the construct by adding an additional pin into the first metatarsal here. If we are worried about flexion and extension of the ankle in particular, I very commonly will do that. But you can also add another pin into the proximal fracture fragment, which is something that you should always do. So I'll do that now. And what I'll do is I'll use our clamp as the drill guide, just like we did in our unilateral frame. And of course here, the closer you put this pin to the ankle, the more construct stiffness you'll have. So that's what we'll try to do here. So I'll position this up here. Okay, that's our delta frame. So that's the basic. Now you can always make it stronger by adding an additional neutralization rod between these two guys. And you can also adjust the position of that and then have your pin, this pin coming off of this neutralization rod even closer to the ankle joint if you wanted to. The other thing you can do is you can add another pin into the metatarsal here, which I'll go ahead and do just to show you how that works. So you can see I've already got a drill hole here, so I'll just go ahead and use my old drill hole. There we go. And without C-arm, this is all very much by feel to make sure that you don't go too deep and hit the other metatarsals or dive into the plantar surface of the foot. Again, we're going to keep in mind the soft tissues, but we want to be as close as possible to make the construct nice and rigid. And we can tighten this guy down fully. There we go. That's a finalized construct.